Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start with our new chapter known as Structures and Pointers. This is the first chapter of our 12th standard. So, in plus 1, we have learnt about various data types available in C++. That is, integral data types as integers and characters, floating data type as float and double. So from that we went on to learn about derived data type, that is known as your arrays, which means that a collection of data, you can group it out, and which belongs to the same data type. But this year you are going to learn about a new user defined data type, which is formed using your fundamental or primitive or basic data types. Okay. Today you are going to learn about a new user defined data type which is formed using your fundamental or primitive or basic data types. See, now look into this example. You have your register number, name, date of birth, blood group, address and PIN code of a student. So all these are a collection of data which are logically related to one student. Now, when you come across over here, the possible data types that you can come here is about integers and character, and that is a character array derived to a character array. So, you have a collection of data which are related, logically related to one another and grouped under a common name. This kind of data type is known as your structure. So finally, I can put out the definition as structure is a user-defined data type to represent a collection of logically related data items which may be of different types under a common name. So now let's look upon how to define a structure. 1. Identify the elementary data items. So now we have seen in the previous example like your register number, name, blood group, all these details, right? So these are called as your elementary data items. Now define a suitable structure to represent them, which means that you have to define a particular order in which these data items are to be arranged. Next, use the keyword known as struct. So struct is the keyword which is used to define a structure. So now coming on to declaring a structure. So how to declare a structure? Now we will see. See, it is declared using the keyword known as struct. So struct is written in red color to understand that it is a keyword followed by a structure tag, or otherwise it is also known as a structure name. Otherwise it is also known as a structure name. Next, you have your open curly brackets, then followed by data type element 1. Sorry, it is element 1, data type element 2, data type, various data items, what all you would like to include, and finally you have your final data item and then close your curly brackets. Is it clear? Here, structure tag or structure name refers to the name given for the structure. Data type refers to the various preliminary data types that you have learned. Maybe integer, float, character, even your modifiers can be included over here. Then variable, it's not variables, you can have it as elements over here. So the variables are also known as the elements of the structure. So a structure name becomes a new user defined data type, like how we have learned in our plus 1, that is your basic data types as integers and float. Like that, the name given for your structure, becomes a new user defined data type. The structure name becomes a new user defined data type. That is, the name given for your structure becomes your new user defined data type. Can be used to declare variables. Of course, these name becomes a data type for you. So based on that, you can declare variables, which is very essential in structures. Can be used to specify arguments of function and return type. Yes, of course, you have learnt in +1 about how to create a user defined function, how to give a return value to the function. So in that place also you can make use of the structures to create the function and the return type. Then data type preceded can be user defined or basic data type. So the data type preceded to the structure can be a user defined data type or a preliminary data type also. Data type determines the size of the structure, that is how much amount of memory is occupied in the that you can estimate it with the help of the data type associated with the structure. So now look into this example. So the first example on top, struct date, you have int dd, int mm and int yy. So in this example, I have gone with a simple definition where you have all the three variables declared of the same data type. Now coming on to the next example, just below that you see, you have int date, character, month, that is declared as an array, character array, then int year. So here you have two different data types, that is integer and your character. So a structure can have a collection of various data types in it. Sometimes it may not be. So that is why you have the possibilities. I have given you both the possibilities here. Now look into the student example. Struct is the keyword. Student is the name given to the structure. Then open curly brackets. Int admission number. Character name of 20. Character group of 10, character section, float fee, then close the curly bracket and keep a semicolon. Keeping a semicolon here is a must because otherwise your structure is not terminated properly will be the error message that you will receive. So different data types such as integer, character, string and float are included in this example. Variable declaration and memory allocation. So to access the elements of a structure, variable is required. Can have more variables declared to the same structure. So one structure if you create, it can have as many number of variables in it. Variable declaration causes memory allocation. With the help of this variable only, you are going to exactly find out how much amount of memory is occupied by this particular structure. Now look into the example, how to, that is the general format of how to declare a variable. There are three different ways you can do it. The very first two lines you please listen. So struct, structure, tag variable 1, variable 2, variable n. That is, here previously a structure is defined or declared and kept. Below that structure declaration, you can go on to include the structure variable, or otherwise a structure tag alone you can write and then go on to include the structure variables, or otherwise at the time of creating a structure itself, you can go on to include the various variables that are required. So now look into this. Struct, structure tag, data type, element 1 up to element n is there. Then you have your variable 1, 2, 3 up to n. So as many number of variables can be declared. So now look into the example side. So date we have already created and kept. There was an example previously we saw. So that was a structure that has been created. So struct date dob comma today. So dob and today are the variables, or otherwise you can write simply as date dob today, dob comma today, where dop and today are your variable names. Then come to this So struct date. At the time of creation of your structure itself, you can go on to create your variable names. So the structure is created immediately. Along with that itself, you have your variables declared along with it, that is ADM underscore DT and join underscore DT. So memory allocation. How much of memory is being allocated for this particular structure? Now for example, in Genie editor, integer occupies 4 bytes, character 1 byte, float 8 bytes. So now consider the example of the student. Here you have integer as admission number as integer 4 bytes. Name, that is character array of 20, character occupies 1 byte, so 20 bytes. Group also 10 bytes. Character section just has got only 1 byte, and float fee has got 8 bytes. So all these summed up together, you get 43 bytes. So 43 bytes are allocated in the memory for the structure student. Okay. So now variable declaration. How to declare the variables? So struct int ABC, C1 and C2. So in certain situations, the name of a structure could be avoided. The name of a structure could be avoided. So in such situations, what you could do is, it is not always advisable. It is not always advisable. Very small programs and all, you can avoid the naming part. So it's easy also. But when you are going for functions and all, compulsorily the name of your structure is essential, because you have to specify the return type, all these details. So a limitation occurs over there. Now variable initialization, value initialization. Value initialization. So how to go for value initialization? So structure tag variable equal to value 1, 2, 3 up to value n. Like that. That is predefinedly the structure is created and kept. Below that, in the next statement, you can write it like this. Or otherwise, at the time of creation of the structure itself, you can go on to initialize the values. One important thing to be noticed over here is, you cannot pass the values inside the block of the structure. You cannot initialize the value for your structure elements inside the block. That is not allowed in C++. You can only initialize only in this method. So now look into the example. You have to initialize the values in such a way that in the same order of declaring the structure. That is how it is being declared, the order of your data elements, how it is declared, the same way only you have to initialize the values also. So first is admission number. So now come down and see. First you have your admission number. Then you have your name. Here also name. Group, same way group, that is science. Section, that is A. Float fee. So fee amount is a fractional number. So you have given the fractional number also. So this is how you will be initializing the values. Directly a value cannot be initialized inside the structure. So values assigned to the structure variable, yes, in the order of definition, that is how it is being declared. If the values are not given correctly in FCFS basis, FCFS means first come first serve basis, what happens is, it will have a data type mismatch error will occur for you. So if by mistake you left out any elements, that is initializing the value for any elements, if you are left out, the last data element will not hold any value. So in such situation, it may take up either 0 or null character based on the data type of that element. So suppose if you want to pass a value to the another variable of the same structure, if you want to pass a value to the to another variable of the same structure, that is a structure can have, I told you, 2 or more variables. So to one variable you have passed the values. So now if you want to pass the value to another variable of the same structure, now you can look into this statement. student S is equal to ST. Student S is equal to ST, which means that the contents or values in ST are passed to the variable S. So note, defining structure, values cannot be initialized or assigned inside the structure. Structure definition is the blueprint or plan of a house. Structure variable realization of blueprint, similar to construction of house. Each variable stores data similar to placing furniture or other items, etc. So now how to access the values or elements of a structure? So to access the elements of a structure, first you should know that it is accessed only with the help of your structure variable. It is accessed only with the help of your structure variable combined with your dot operator. Combined with your dot operator. So your dot operator is also known as your concatenation operator. So now in this right hand corner you can see a small example of a structure. So how to access the elements we will see. Now look into the syntax. So structure variable dot element name. Structure variable dot element name. So now come into the example and see. Admission date dot date. ADMDT dot date. Then ADMDT dot month. ADMDT dot year. So this is how we will be able to access the elements of a structure. That is, why do we access is to input, process or output the values. To do any kind of work with the elements of the structure, this is the method of accessing. That is, it is used for input, process and output. So this is the way you are supposed to do. Now for example, you can see some valid operations on elements. Today dot dd. So today was supposed to be a structure variable and dd is supposed to be your structure element. Initialize the value 10. Then strcpy is a string function. So what are all the various string functions, predefined functions you have learnt in +1? The same functions can be applied over here. So adm underscore date dot month takes up the value as June. The value of June is copied to adm underscore date dot month. See in s1 dot adm underscore number. So even when you are inputting the values, now look into the next statement. Even when you are outputting the values, your structure variable dot the element name is only being given. So this is the right method of accessing the structure elements. So some invalid operations. If C1 and C2 are two structure variables, then C1 plus C2 is invalid. Why is it so? See, C1 belongs to one structure and C2 belongs to another structure. When you have two different structures, you cannot add both the structure variable names. That is not allowed in C++. If C1 and C2 are two different structure variable names assigned to the same structure or to another structure, directly you cannot add the variable names. That is not allowed in C++. Plus operator can be used only with numeric data. Any arithmetic operations on structure variables cannot be done directly. So now assume that you have given two structures. Now look into this. Two structures, test1 and test2. Int a, float b, t1 is equal to 3, 2.5. T2 is T2, you don't have any values. See, listen. Both the structure resembles the same. Both the structure resembles the same. There are two structures, test1 and test2. Both the structures has got the same variables a and b. It has got two variables t1 and t2. So assigning values from the structures test1 and test2. How this could be done? T2 equal to T1. This is an invalid statement. Though it resembles the same, directly you cannot pass the values from one structure to another structure. T1 and T2 have different data types. Both are of different data types, though they resemble the same. Then their structure names are different. That is what I told. They both are different structures. Though their structure element names are same, but they have the same data type, but they both are different structures. So T2 equal to T1 is not possible. It is an invalid statement. So how to copy the contents from one structure to another structure? So now look into that previous example itself. Considering the previous example itself, T2 dot A is equal to T1 dot A. You had the values present in structure test1 associated with the variable T1. So from T1 you have to pass the values to T2. So how you can pass is T2 dot A is equal to T1 dot A and T2 dot B is equal to T2 dot B is equal to T1 dot B. It is T1 dot B, where values from T1 is assigned to T2. So copying the contents is done with using the dot operator and the assignment operator. So array of structures. What is meant by array of structures? So at present you have seen only assigning a variable, that is st alone. So st, a single variable, if you have assigned, you are able to accept the input for only one particular set of data. You are able to accept the input for only one particular set of data. Suppose if you want to accept the input for a collection of data, that is for a class of 46. So what you can do is you can include the use of arrays. You can bring the concept of arrays. So example, struct student, have all your data items included over there. St is your variable name, and then that st can be represented inside a array. St can be declared as an array of 20 means. So for a set of 20 students, it can be included, where st is a structure variable name declared as an array.